Good morning, Bears. If you don't know me, my name is Alex Ross, and I'm a current senior here. First off, I want to thank the Strings Ensemble for their amazing piece, Mr. Balashi, and the rest of the prefects for giving me the opportunity to speak on one of Landon's core values that I feel is exemplified all around our campus, and also to Jimmy, not only for the warm welcome, but for being a great friend and a teammate throughout the last year and a half. When Jimmy first asked me to give a speech on inclusivity, I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. I mean, you can say the generic thoughts about including everyone, not leaving anyone out, and not making fun of everybody, and everything else they told us in kindergarten. But I don't want to talk about the textbook definition or the generic ideas. I want to talk about what it really looks like to be inclusive and what it feels like to be included. I'm not sure if most of you know, but as Jimmy stated, this is only my second year here at Landon. I transferred over from little school down the road last year named Bullis, and joined here as an upperclassman. If I'm being completely honest, I was super nervous about coming to not only a new school, but coming from a somewhat rival school, but especially being one of only 8 new upperclassmen. I knew I was going to get some crap about coming from Bullis, but I knew that would mostly be as jokes. I was more worried that as juniors, everyone has established their friend groups or their close friends, and that I was going to have trouble finding a group of friends at school. So I guess what I really want to focus on in this talk is simply how I felt included throughout the whole process of deciding to come to Landon, and especially in the first few weeks on campus last year. The first time I was on campus was during my sophomore year, the day of my tour and interview with Mr. Cantley. Like I've mentioned a few times, I was worried and wasn't really sure what to expect. I remember distinctly my tour guide was my now good friend Jack Flynn. During the tour, Jack easily could have just walked me through the buildings, telling me where all my classes were going to be, but instead he asked questions to get to know me, introduced me to people around campus, and really made me feel welcomed. He went above and beyond to make me feel welcomed, and I couldn't have asked for a better first impression at school. On the day of my shadow, Mr. Cantley paired me up with Jimmy and also Josh Burstein, who happened to be the catchers on the baseball team, so I've become very close with them. And they took me around that day. Just like Jack, they immediately made me feel at home. I got to be a part of a Mr. Perkins math class where I learned what DTRT means, and a Mr. Reed history class where he talked a little bit of baseball and our past matchups as interconference opponents. Just like everyone else, Mr. Perkins and Mr. Reed took minutes out of their class time that they didn't need to do so that they could learn about who I was and answer any questions that I had. Leaving Landon that day, my decision was pretty much made. I saw how inclusive and welcoming everyone was here, and I knew this was the place I wanted to spend the last 2 years of my high school. Throughout the first few weeks of the school year, nothing changed when it came to the inclusivity of my fellow brothers. On the first day of school in the lunchroom, I was panicking a little bit because I couldn't find Josh or Jack or Jimmy or any of the guys that I had already established a relationship with, so I wasn't sure where I was going to sit. After making a couple laps around the lunchroom looking for those same guys, another brother, Brody Williams, came up to me and introduced himself. He said he knew I was new, and if I wanted, a bunch of the guys were sitting outside, and I was more than welcome to go join them. I immediately took him up on that, and that not only solved my problem of where I was going to eat that day, but it also served as the first interaction with so many of my now close friends. When I sat down, everybody introduced themselves, dapped me up, asked how my first day was going, and throughout the whole lunch period, everyone took time to get to know me. Of course, giving me crap about coming from Bullis, but making sure I knew that I had a group of brothers who were going to be my closest friends for the next 2 years. And I was pleased to say it only got better from there. Right after school, Matt Cohen made sure I was added to the group chat with the whole grade, and a bunch of the guys checked in and made sure the rest of my first day went smoothly. That weekend, Sam B. and Eli invited me to a little hangout, making sure I felt included and giving me something to do on that first weekend. There are so many other instances that I could go on and on about, but basically what I'm trying to get at is that all that nervousness I had from transferring schools as a junior was washed away by the time the first day of the school year ended. Everyone around me, teachers, administrators, coaches, and especially my fellow brothers, made me feel welcomed and felt like I had been there for years, and I couldn't have been more thankful for the way they welcomed me. Besides just my experience, I've noticed this sense of inclusivity around our school in many ways. Whether it's the way older students welcome the younger ones with bear teams or peer counseling, or even just saying what's up as we cross paths each day. How teams support each other on and off the field, making sure that while all the seniors are there, we have Blue leading the chants and throughout the game, we also do our best to encourage the younger guys to come out and support because they will be the ones leading the chants in just a couple years. But even it's just how teachers genuinely care about getting to know us as individuals. No matter how you see it, there's a shared sense of culture and looking out for one another. I've seen how people are open to hearing different perspectives in class discussions or trying new things, whether that was a graded discussion in humanities last year, or helping a classmate with a problem in a math class. no matter what it is, people are willing and open to help. While we're not perfect, it's clear that many of us take this value seriously and work to make Landon feel like a place where everyone feels like they belong. As I look back on my start here at Landon, I realize how much those small acts of inclusivity shape my experience and sense of belonging here. From that first tour to that first lunch period, each person who went out of their way to welcome me made a lasting impact. Reflecting on that, I think it's important for all of us to recognize the power we have to create that same feeling for others, whether it's a new student, someone sitting alone, or even a classmate we just don't usually talk to. Inclusivity isn't something we talk about once a year. It's something we practice every day through our actions. Moving forward, I encourage all of us to keep finding those moments to reach out, to invite someone in, and to make sure every person here at Landon feels like they belong. That's how we continue to build a strong, connected community that gives Landon that special feeling that makes everyone so excited to show up each day. Thank you, and go Bears.